Karibu back. Oh, I have a call. Hold. So in the next episode, I think it's alright when I call them episode because they start sounding like movies. So in the next, what am I saying? In the next, Hey people, how are you? How are you doing? This is Gakoyo Waireri and this is Real Estate Demystified. How are you doing? Yeah, I always do that. I have realized I always do that. I always look to see if I'm distracting anybody. So hi guys, how are you? So nice to see you. So nice to be back this week. I had started covering a certain topic called documentation. I was covering documentation, and then last week I covered a showcase. I was showing the show house at Oyster Muse in Langata. I wanted you to see what we are currently working on, but today we are back to documentation, and today's episode or today's video, we're going to cover documentation during the process of purchase for a real estate product. And as usual, my concentration is on buying of property, that is houses, apartments, that. So we are going to cover documentation, and let's see which documents you come across when you are buying a unit. So this is now for during purchase. Okay, so stay with me, don't go anywhere. So welcome back. Let's cover documentation. This is not going to be a very long video, but I'll try my best to tell you everything about documentation, about which documents you come across during purchase. So now this is you've already gathered all the documents from last week. You've already done all your due diligence. You are sure about the property. You are sure about what you're buying. You've already negotiated, and you've already come in agreement with the developer or the selling agents as to which property you're buying. So now, since when you're doing all this, don't assume that you must have the money ready. Maybe you're coming into the money in a few months. Maybe you're coming into the money in a few weeks, but you are sure that this money is coming up. You're at least 80-90% sure that you're getting some of the money, and so you're willing to go ahead with this process. So you will find that companies are different. So this is not, I'm not like saying this is the standard and this is what you should get, and if you don't get this, it's a problem. No. But these are some of the documents that you will come across. Most developers usually start with a reservation form or a booking form. What that does is a reservation form or a booking form is a form you're given to book the particular unit that you want or the particular house that you want in that development. Remember, this is if you're buying from a development that has many units. Of course, if you're buying one house from one seller, there's really nothing about you reserving or you booking unless there are a few bidders for that house, unless there are a few offers that have come in. So usually when the units are more than one, we give a reservation or a booking form, and in some cases the reservation form or the booking form may need you to actually pay a certain amount of money. You might be needed to pay a certain percentage of the price as a booking fee. It's not always the case. It's not all the time that you are required to pay, and it's not in all purchases. But in some purchases, you could be required to pay a reservation or a booking fee. It's usually a certain percent, maybe 1%, 2%. It depends with the property you're buying. So what that does is that it enables the developer or the selling agent reserve or book the unit for you for a specified amount of time that allows you to make arrangements to actually have the deposit amount ready, or even the full amount, depending on what payment plan you agreed upon. So it allows them to reserve the unit for you. Now, remember, it allows them to reserve for you for a certain period of time. If that time lapses and you still aren't ready to either pay, depending on the kind of depending on what you've agreed with the seller or the developer, there's a chance that you may lose your reservation amount. There's a chance that you may lose your booking amount. So it has to be an amount that you can stand losing if you don't get your plans in alignment, or if things don't really work out the way you're planning. The booking period and reservation period does not really run for whoa. The booking the booking time and the reservation time does not really run for a long time. You'll see people say 14 days, other people say 21 days. It's not really, you can't have like an open-ended time to reserve or an open-ended time to book a unit. So that's usually the first document you get. And it may not be necessary. It is not lazima. It is not necessary for you to get it if you are sure you have the money ready, you're just buying. So you might skip the reservation or the booking because you go there, this is the apartment I want, give me the next document. And this next document is called a letter of offer. So the letter of offer is a letter that you are given by the developer or the selling agent. It is actually prepared by the seller. The owner or the person who is selling the unit to you is the one that prepares the letter of offer. The letter of offer, plainly, is a document that details the specifications of the project that you're buying, specifications of the unit. It titles the unit number, it gives you the title number, it gives you the payment plan that you agreed, the price, the bank where you will pay to. It gives you all these details. It is a letter that is prepared on the basis of your agreement. So once you receive this letter, this is the letter you share with your lawyer. It is the first letter now you share with either your lawyer or you share with somebody else, or maybe your family or your partner or whoever it is that you find necessary to share it with. So you share the letter because it also has some legal clauses. It has some legal clauses in it that you may need somebody to expound on. So you get the letter of offer, you read through, share with your lawyer, see that what is written is agreeable, see that what is written is actually something you're okay with. If it is not, the letter of offer is amendable. You can actually request to have clauses amended to suit you. When you agree to the letter of offer, that letter will serve as the basis for the whole purchase. It will set out the stipulations for what happens if you don't pay. It will set out the consequences of what happens if the project fails. So it is actually something you need to read through. It is actually something you need to understand, as much as it is just prepared by the selling agent or the developer. Okay? So it sets the standard. It sets the basis. Once you get the letter of offer, it also has a timeline on it. Because the letter of offer, remember, if you had skipped the reservation stage, were you getting the letter of offer without paying anything? If you had paid something at the reservation or booking stage, then it means that there is a payment already made, and maybe there is a little bit of flexibility. And even if the letter of offer also has a timeline, it is actually shorter. It is like 7 days. 7 to 14 days for most, where you go through the letter of offer, you start the discussions and all that. So within 7, 14, 21 days, you should also have finished. That is why the purchase process does not take place in a week. That is why when you start going through projects and now you're ready to purchase, that process in itself is one that needs you to be very patient. It doesn't take place in a week. It doesn't until you get the letter of offer, you're agreeable today, you sign tomorrow, you pay the deposit, you sign again. No, it takes time and it requires a lot of patience. So once you have the letter of offer, you've looked through it, you're okay, there's a timeline. Depending on a payment plan, at the signing of the letter of offer, your deposit will be required at this point. So you do the deposit, you sign the letter of offer, and now you are committed. You are considered a client. You are considered that you have actually committed to purchase. Because now at the deposit level, you are probably paying something more than you stand to lose should a cancellation happen somewhere. You have paid more than you stand to lose. So you are now considered a client. Kabisa, there's nothing to say you're not a client. Okay? Then you've signed the letter of offer. You've discussed with your lawyer. You've told the developer what you want changed. They have changed it. If it is agreeable to them also, you have paid your deposit, but you have not paid the entire amount. What else comes? Document number 3. Document number 3 is called the agreement of sale. the sales agreement document. Now, I had said that the letter of offer is prepared by the developer. The sales agreement is prepared by the developers or selling agents' lawyers. You remember when we were discussing costs pale nyuma? If you haven't watched it, just go back, see. And I told you that there's a cost you pay to the lawyer who is representing the person selling to you, the lawyer who is representing the seller or the developer. There's a cost you pay. These are some of the jobs that he is doing. That is why you're paying him. So they prepare the agreement of sale document. The agreement of sale document is now a legal document. Now, this document is the one that stands legally. It's the one that we will use to even register this apartment into your name, and it supersedes the letter of offer. So if there is something different, because now when you have received the letter of offer and signed it, and now you have received the sales agreement, it is important for you to go through the sales agreement so that you see that all the clauses in the sales agreement are matching what was there in the letter of offer. Because if the letter of offer you were given, for instance, says that the development that you are buying into will be completed in December of 2021, you sign that letter of offer saying that. And then the sales agreement comes and says that the development that you have bought into will be completed in December of 2022. You cannot use the details in the letter of offer in court. You can only use the details on the sales agreement. So the sales agreement actually is the legal document that proves ownership before you even get the ownership documents. If you have the sales agreement and you have the letter of offer, the two have to agree. These two documents have to say the same thing. There are more legal statements and clauses in the agreement than there are on the letter of offer. So that is why it is prepared by a legal entity. And you will find that at this stage where the sales agreement is coming up, your lawyer, you as the client, because you've also come with your lawyer. I've always told you due diligence is good. Always take care of your interests and have a lawyer who is backing you up. So your lawyer will actually be having conversations with the developer's lawyer or the selling agent's lawyer, because the two share a language. So they will be able to go through the sales agreement, discuss what it says, agree, and then now use it and say, now we have agreed, that is fine, we are okay, now the sale has been complete. The sale is complete. The only thing that is pending is the payment. If, for instance, you are paying over a certain period of time, that the thing that is making you not own the property as at now, even if you have the letter of offer and the sale agreement, is that the completion of payment has not happened. Because of course, you can only be given the unit once the completion of payment has happened. Okay? So during purchase, you will get the reservation or the booking form. There might be or might not be, depending on who is selling to you, a fee payable at this stage. Once you pass this stage, you go to the second stage and you get a letter of offer, which is prepared by the developer and given to you based on the agreements that you and the seller had. Once that is done, a deposit is required. Once the offer letter is signed and the deposit paid, then you will get the third document, which is the agreement of sale, which is prepared by a legal entity. It is up for discussion also. You can always discuss it until it suits you and suits the developer and you are fine with it. And at this point, the other payments now proceed. Whether it was a cash purchase where now you pay the entire balance, or a spread payment purchase where now you pay pole as the construction of the site continues, or a mortgage payment where you have already paid the deposit and now you're holding on to the sales agreement and waiting for your mortgage to be approved. This letter is also the one the bank will keep so that they know at what stage they are required to pay. Supposing you've done all this, you have paid the reservation fee, you have signed the letter of offer, you have signed the sales agreement, and then something along the lines happen, and maybe you want a change of name. You bought it in your name and now you want it changed to your child's name, or you bought it in your spouse's name and now you want it changed to your parents' name, or you bought it in your whatever. Some changes, or maybe the agreement you had about you being able to make payments every month has changed. Hold on, there's a bit of noise. Yeah, the noise has ended. The noise has ended. I like it when you see that flower. So, or maybe there's a change in the payment. Maybe you had agreed that you would be making monthly payments monthly payments, that is payments every month, and then maybe that has changed because maybe there's a change in your income, or whatever change has occurred that causes the terms of agreement to change in the sales agreement. There are documents that are prepared legally so that they can identify the change and make the corrections where necessary. These documents are called the addendums. Addendums are also prepared by a legal entity. They will be prepared by the lawyer. The lawyer will capture what has changed. And just to note, this change may either be from you or from the developer or the selling agent. It does not necessarily have to be a change from one party, maybe just the buyer or maybe just the seller. No, both the seller and the buyer can make these changes and want them documented. I cannot stress enough the importance of having every discussion or every agreement or every change documented by way of writing. Whether it's an email or a letter, you need to have any change documented so that you are able to in case of anything, even for your own records, you are able to make follow-ups and say that this is what we had agreed, but this changed, and now this is the final agreement, and we can prove that we agreed to this. Me and the developer, me and the buyer agreed to this, and we were okay with the change. It is important for you to have those addendums made, even if it's just to signify something as simple as there's a change of timelines, there's a change of completion timelines, or there is a change of the payment plan, or there's a change of ownership, just to have it documented. It is very important. Documents, it's going to take time. It's a long process. It's a tiring process. It's a process that you require a lot of help for. So it requires a lot of patience. It requires you to be okay with the process. It requires you to read through. It requires you to have help. And it is something that you need to be patient for. But if it happens right, then both you and the seller are okay. Both you and the seller are fine. Okay, so make sure that during the process you understand which documents you're being given, you're reading through all the documents, and you are having somebody cross-check the document for you, if especially you do not understand what the documents signify. I do not mean to say that these are the only documents you get. I am sure there are others. For instance, I know that there are at times when you are purchasing, there may be letters from a bank that you may need during purchase. There may be letters from a lawyer that you may need during purchase. These letters are dependent on situations, and if you feel that there is a certain stage that you are going through in the purchase process that requires a certain letter, maybe of security, a security letter or an assurance letter, then make sure you're able to get that letter for yourself. Most people who are selling you may not mind giving you all the assurances that you need to purchase. Okay, so just go through the documents, always read them through before you make any signature. So in the next video, we will discuss the documents you get after purchase and probably during handover when the property is being given to you as ownership. So that is the one clip that we will have about documentation that actually finishes the whole process, that is the before, the during, and the after. Okay, we will discuss that. I will tell you what we give as proof of ownership next time, so please stay here. And for those of you who are watching me for the first time, my name is Gakoi Waireri. Here, I discuss about real estate. I tell people everything I know about real estate. I give them all the experiences I have had with developers, with clients, with lawyers, with financiers. Everything I know about real estate, I share here. Please subscribe if this is content that is good for you. If this is content you feel you need, please subscribe, share with somebody you think might need them, and of course, hit the like button, and stay here, watch the previous videos that I have done, and please keep it here for the others to come. Okay, thank you so much for all of you who follow me. I appreciate it. God bless you. Thank you very much, and let's keep it Real Estate Demystified 2021. All right, bye bye. God bless you.